Martin Hess, also from Canberra. In fact, I live across the border in New South Wales, so please don't associate me with Canberra. I'd like to thank you, Professor Flint, and everybody here for organising this. It's been a brilliantly run, conference. Very lively discussions. I'd particularly like to thank Daniel, the previous speaker from Asheville, and also, please state your name, sir. I like hearing your name.
For me?
Yep.
Ik kan doen beter voor Engelbozen.
Why don't we hear more from people like you?
Yes. I think we're
because this whole constitutional monarchy thing is portrayed in the media as an Anglo thing. It's not.
The white patriarch.
Yeah, absolutely. To that end, I've got teenage kids, and I try to teach them history, etc. But what efforts are being made by us on this side of the discussion in relation to a civics and history education program? Ultimately, this decision is going to be in the hands of young people like Daniel. My kids are 15 and 17 respectively, so their peers are going to be growing up. It's in their hearts and minds. They're the people who are going to be voting on this. Why aren't we in the schools sort of advocating how good our system actually is, instead of submitting to the dogma that's coming out of the teachers' union? That's just something that I'd like to raise. I could also talk about water. I'm not going to do that because it appears I'm not trained with the constitutional stuff at the moment. So, are we doing anything about the civics education program? There's Keith Winchell, for instance, the great historian, being pushed prominently forward as far as historical accuracy goes. Just some questions I think that we sort of, it's incumbent upon us to start pushing some of these things. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, a great deceased relation of Christopher Flynn, who's with us here today, established within ACM a body, the Constitutional Education Fund of Australia, and it was to do precisely that, to teach the young people of Australia about their civic history, about the constitutional system. One Lindsay Tanner, when in opposition, decided that he would attack this, and he declared in the adjournment speech that ACM and CIFA was tax deductible, that we were engaged in the biggest tax fraud he'd ever seen, because if you gave money to CIFA, it was tax deductible. We were sharing the same office. There was no financial link between us. He asked this question, which was highly defamatory but underprivileged, and of course it was published in The Age. And as a result of that, because the tax department knew that Labor was likely to win the next election, they sent in a team to investigate the matter. It was a team you'd send in to investigate the taxation rorts of a major multinational. It was a team of about 5 who came, and they went through everything. And I said to Kerry Jones, the executive director, I said, they'd probably find something where we've overlooked something somewhere. It cost a fortune because she had to reply to things through an accountant. Obviously you can't answer every query. It was a very expensive process. But what happened was that after about a year or so, the tax office just went away. They said, well, we haven't found anything. You haven't done anything wrong. No apology from Tanner, but that Constitutional Education Fund has continued. There are Republicans on the board, nice Republicans, and Kerry's still the director. It's there in the High Court, and you can go into their website, and they do a lot of very interesting and good work. So there is a body which is trying to encourage an understanding of constitutionalism. The problem, I think, with education in Australia is that the Commonwealth has tried to put its nose into education. So you've got the situation where a power which was intended by the founders and by the people to be left with the states now has the Commonwealth trying to run it, the states trying to run it. It's like having a car with 2 drivers. And instead of them having much effect, what's happened is that the standards have fallen, so that in some respects the standards in terms of literacy and numeracy are below that of Kazakhstan. And it's a declining standard. You put more money in and you get this result. You're having these two drivers, other people move in, particularly the cultural Marxists, and they run a uniform national curriculum. If you left to the states, you then see which state was performing well, and parents would say, well, look what's happening in South Australia. Why are we having this ridiculous, why are we spending so much time on gender fluidity in New South Wales when they're not doing that in South Australia? They're teaching real history. That was what federalism was intended to do, but we've lost that because we've allowed the Commonwealth to take over the purse strings of the nation, so much so that the Commonwealth collects 80% of the taxes of this country. Never intended, not knowing that any other federation, gives back half of that to the states, and much of it with strings attached. It tries to run everything. It can't run defence. And if you've got 21 days or something of fuel in the country, and you can't, how can you move your army around if you've got insufficient fuel? They're spending this enormous amount of money on submarines. We're ripping out nuclear engines and putting in conventional engines into submarines. The Commonwealth is doing silly things in the areas which are its role under the Constitution. It's trying to do things that the state's running, and the result is a complete mess, a complete waste of money, but worse, maladministration, so much so the standards in education are falling. More money is going in, but standards in terms of performance with comparative countries are falling. So we have to really teach this. We have to get this through to the electorate and to the nation.